Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to One More Line. This morning we are going over the Cisco Netacad course Network Security Lab 14.3.11, which is Packet Tracer Implement Port Security. In this lab, you guessed it, we're going to be implementing port security. Okay, this lab is part of chapter 14, and in this chapter we talk about various different types of attacks. This specifically pertains to MAC table attacks, and more specifically MAC address table flooding, right? And then 14.3 goes on to discuss securing unused ports and the like, and enabling port security, and how to do so, right? To mitigate stuff like MAC address table flooding. All right, so in this lab, we're going to be learning about implementing port security to stop attacks like MAC address table flooding. Let's get into the lab here. At the top here, we have our addressing table. And bear with me a little bit. This is early morning for me. As you can see, 4:20, LOL. I got work really early this morning, so I woke up super early just to make sure I was up in time and decided to do some schoolwork. And studying while I waited for it to be time to go. So it is very early for me right now. So bear with me. We have our addressing table here at the top. Our objective is going to be in part 1 to configure port security, and in part 2 we're going to verify port security. The background: in this activity you will configure and verify port security on a switch. Port security allows you to restrict a port's ingress traffic by limiting the MAC addresses that are allowed to send traffic into the port. What does ingress mean? Incoming, basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to limit the number of devices that can connect to a port to 1. All right, as can be seen, I think right here. Right? Yep. With the command switch port security maximum 1. All right. So to start off here, we're going to access the command line for S1 and enable port security on fast Ethernet 01 and 02. To do that, we're just going to open up S1. We're going to hit the CLI. We're going to check this top box down here in the bottom left corner so that if we click away, we don't lose our window. We have to go fishing for it behind the other windows. All right. We're going to resize it so we have a little better view, and we're going to hit enter. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to say enable, and then we're going to say conf t for configure terminal. Once we're in, we're going to be accessing interface range mode with the command interface range F01 through 2. So interface range F01 through 2, and then hit enter. Make sure you get rid of any typos like I just had right there. All right, now we are in interface range. Our first step here is going to be saying switch port security. Okay. All right, and then from there we're going to set maximum so that only one device can access the fast Ethernet ports 01 and 02, which to me, I don't know, doesn't that seem kind of strict? Although I guess, now this is my first time doing this chapter 2 and the accompanying labs with it. To me, 1 seems strict, but I guess this doesn't have to do with the VLANs. This isn't for VLANs. This is just a physical port, I guess, right? So you couldn't really connect more than 1 anyway. I don't know. I do not know. But we're going to limit the connection to 1. So we're going to say switch port security, and all of these commands for this are going to start with switch port security, and then maximum 1. Okay. Then we're going to go on to part C, and we're going to secure the ports so that MAC address of a device is dynamically learned and added to the running config. So when a device connects to the port, the MAC address of that device will automatically be added to the running config. To do that, we're going to say switch port security MAC address sticky. All right. And the good thing about a lot of these commands is even though they're long, they're all unique. So you can hit tab on them to autocomplete after like 2 or 3 characters on most of them. So even though they're long, they're easy to remember. Set the violation mode so that fast Ethernet ports 1 and 2 are not disabled when a violation occurs, but a notification of the security violation is generated and packets from the unknown source are dropped. All right, so let's say switch port security violation, and then restrict. Okay. And then finally, we're going to disable all remaining unused ports, and we're going to use interface range mode to do so. Okay. Now you can see here our completion rate is at 23%. This will pretty much almost complete the lab for us. I think we have one more step to actually complete it. There's more stuff to do, like verifications and whatnot, but to actually complete it, I believe we have one more step in the next portion. But here, I'm going to teach you a little trick. A lot of people, maybe you realize this already, maybe you don't. Not saying you don't. A lot of people don't realize that you don't have to exit out of a configuration mode or a unique configuration mode to go to another, right? So like a lot of people here would type exit and then enter the new configuration mode, right? You can just go to the next range, right? It doesn't allow you to autocomplete, but we can just say F0/3 through 24, and then it's going to be O/1 through 2. Okay, and by the way, too, if you ever don't know exactly what port numbers you're looking for, it does tell us right here in this particular lab, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you don't know. In Packet Tracer, at least, you can just hover over it and you can see all your ports. I'm sure you probably know that if you're doing this lab. This is not a noob lab, so I'm sure most of you probably know that, but whatever. What I'm showing you right now down here, though, a lot of people don't realize because it doesn't allow you to autocomplete. But so we entered our command, we hit enter. Now we're actually in the new range, and we can just say shutdown. Okay, and as you can see, we did change ranges. All of our ports shut down, and we're now at a completion rate of 94%. Next, we are just going to say end and get out of here. So we're going to say end and enter. Okay, and then we can hit X up here. In part 2 here, we're going to verify our security. So our first step here is from PC1, we're going to ping PC2. And this will actually complete our final step, giving us 100%. And what this is going to do when we do this ping is it's going to add those MAC addresses to the running configuration that we were talking about. Okay, so let's go to desktop, command prompt, ping, and you can scroll up here to see your addressing table if you need to. I'm going to say ping, and we're going to be doing PC2 right here. It's going to be 10, 10, 10, 11. Okay, and as we can see, our ping is going to be successful. We're going to close that bad boy out, and we can also see down here on the bottom, we have a completion of 100%, and that is because our MAC addresses were added to the table, which was the final step for this lab to get us 100. Okay, now to verify that, we're going to check out the running configuration on switch 1 to see that the MAC addresses were added. Okay, we're going to go back into S1, and we're just going to say show run pipe. Also make sure you exited back out privileged exec, or this command won't work. Say show run pipe begin interface. Okay, and we can see right here, there's the MAC address of PC1, I believe, and then 2, or vice versa, actually. Which one is which? I don't remember. Hold on. Okay, so this, yeah. So this one is going to be PC1, and this is going to be PC2. All right. Next here, now also too, if you want, if you're done with this and you just want your 100% and you don't care about anything else in this lab, there are a few more things to do here. You've got 100, you can complete it, you can close it, you can send it into your professor or whatever you need to do with it. But this is complete now. So if you don't care about the rest, have a good one. For the rest of you who do, let's continue on here. In step C, we're going to use port security show commands to display configuration information. All right. So let's get back to our privileged exec mode here. The first one we're going to try out is we're going to say show port security. And here we can see the maximum address count that we allowed. We can see the current connected addresses right here. And we don't currently have any violations. Okay. Then the next one we're going to check out is we're going to say show port security address. All right, and we can see the MAC addresses of the devices connected. Okay. So now let's go on to D. We're going to attach rogue laptop to any unused switch port, and we're going to notice that the links are red. Okay, let's do that. Let's take our rogue laptop here. It doesn't allow us to move it, I guess. Lame. And we're going to grab cable. Click on the fast Ethernet there. Go to our switch and connect. Let's just go to 3. Okay. And then in part E, we're going to enable the port and verify that rogue laptop can ping PC 1 and 2. After verification, shut down the port connected to rogue laptop. All right. So, to do that, we're going to go back into S1 here. Check that top box. Okay. We're going to say conf t. I'm connected to 3. You might be connected to a different interface. All right, so for me, I'm going to say interface F03. All right, bring myself into interface configuration mode, and then we're going to say no shutdown. All right, that will bring our port back up in online. Okay, so enable the port and verify. So now we're going to ping. All right. So let's go. Let's close out S1 here. Go to our rogue laptop. We're going to go to our desktop. Go to the CLI, and then first let's do PC1. We'll go in order here. So I'm going to ping PC1, which is 10.10.10.10. All right, and that is now successful, okay? And then we will also do the same thing, just press the up arrow and replace that last 0 with a 1 for 11, and that will ping PC2. All right. Then after we do that, and that's successful, we're supposed to shut down the port connected to rogue laptop. I love how they have like, what is this? 4 steps in 1 step here. Great of them, right? They couldn't like make those different steps to make it a little bit easier to dissect, I guess. I don't know. So we're going to yeah, so we got confirmation both of those pings were successful. We're going to close this out. We're going to go back to S1 here. Oh, geez. Now I luckily did not exit out of interface configuration mode, so I don't have a lot to type. All I have to do is just say shut down. But if you did exit out, you just want to go back into whatever interface you connected the laptop to. I used interface 3, so interface F03. Go back into interface config and then just say shutdown, just like I did there. Okay. Then we're going to disconnect PC2 and connect rogue laptop to F02, which is the port to which PC2 was originally connected. Verify that rogue laptop is unable to ping PC1. Okay, so let's close this here momentarily. It looks like we're going to bring it back up in a second. So, does it let me? Okay, you can only touch the cable. All right. Now, no, I don't want to delete PC2. I want to delete the cable. Okay, there we go. Now, so to do that, it's not often you have to do that. Click this little up here at the top. It might be hard to see, but the third icon on the second row of icons is like a little backspace arrow with an X in it. Click that and then click the cable to delete it. And then after you do that, click the select window, which is the first icon right above logical, the little dotted line square. Again, okay? Then we're going to take our cable from, we can grab it here, okay? And we're going to unconnect it and then just reconnect it, but this time we're going to put it on 2, which is what PC2 was connected to, all right? So now that we did that, we're going to verify that we're unable to ping. So this ping should be unsuccessful, okay? And it's going to be for, it wants us to do PC1, which is going to be 10.10.10.10. You just press up to grab that command back and resend it, okay? And look at that, unsuccessful. Now, for a little extra bonus credit here, let's check out the actual packet as we go to. So I'm going to press Control-C really quick because I know it's going to be unsuccessful. I'm going to open simulation mode here on the right. Okay. I'm going to stretch this out a little bit. Now I'm going to resend it in simulation mode instead so we can actually take a look at the packet when it gets rejected, all right? So let's start clicking next here. There it goes. And bam, no dice, it says. Let's see what it says in the packet. So in layer 1 here, we receive the frame. Then port security is enabled on this port. The device checks the frame against port security. This port reaches the maximum port security MAC addresses. The device applies port security violation and drops the frame. All right, so we got our violation logged and our frame was dropped. All right. And we can just continue to go through that. All right, I'm just actually going to click real time, go back to real time. And then I'm going to go down here, I'm going to say fast forward. And we can see that we had 100% loss, which means our ping was completely unsuccessful. And as we saw in the packet as well, we already knew that. So, in the next step here, we are going to display port security violations for the port to which rogue laptop is connected. All right, so let's open S1 again. If you're in interface config like I am, press end, go back to privileged exec, and you're going to say show port security interface F0/2. All right, and here we can see it looks like our port security is enabled, violation mode, restrict, secure static address aging disabled, maximum MAC addresses is 1, total MAC addresses is 1. Then we have configured MAC addresses, which is 0, sticky MAC addresses is at 1, and our security violation is 8. Okay? And then that would be, of course, because we sent a ping, which is going to send multiple packets that attempt to go through the switch. And then I think it should actually probably be 4 if you just did 1. I did 2, right? So I think each one would probably generate, let's just see again, just to be sure there. I believe each one is going to generate 4 violations though. So if we do it again, we should click fast forward here just to fast forward through that. And then we should have 4 more violations. Yeah, exactly. So each ping will generate 4 violations. And then we're going to disconnect the rogue laptop and reconnect PC2. Verify that PC2 can ping PC1. All right, so let's go up here, select the delete tool. No, we don't want to delete S1. We want to delete this cable here. It's always such a pain to delete stuff and no. No, man. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take a cable. We're going to connect that back to Fast Ethernet 2, then to PC2. Okay. Open up PC2. Go to desktop. Go to command prompt. And we're going to be pinging 1, which I believe, yeah, 1 is 10, 10, 10, 10. We're going to check that top box, send our ping. All right. And we can see completely successful. Everything is good to go again, right? So why is PC2 able to ping PC1, but the rogue laptop is not? Well, that is because the MAC address is logged with sticky address. And we have our violation configured, right? So it knows that we can only have one MAC address connected at a time. And we had already done so with PC2. Now, it's not one device, right? It logs the MAC address, right? So even though it was only one device, it knows the MAC address is not the same, okay? And again, just to show you what I'm talking about, let's go in here, back to S1, all right? And you gotta be in privileged exec mode to see this. We'll say show run, and then we'll say pipe begin interfaces. What did I do? Oh, interface, not interfaces. Okay, and we can see here on interface 01 and 02, we have switch port, security, MAC address sticky, and then we have the MAC addresses of the corresponding devices. Okay, so we were the port 2 is the port in question. All right, so let's open up rogue laptop here. Go to command prompt, and then we're going to say ipconfig/all. All right, and we can see that obviously the MAC address here is not the same. Okay, it does not match, so therefore it is unable to connect to S1. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this lab. It was brief, but it was also fun. Pretty interesting one, if I do say so. I like stuff like this. Even though this was a pretty simple lab, it was still, you know, it's good stuff to learn, good stuff to know. Hope you learned something. Enjoy your morning, night, day, whatever it is, and have a good one.